Recent rains are doing more than creating potential flooding problems for residents. It's also creating issues for the wood industry throughout the Golden Triangle. WCBI's Victoria Bailey spent the day at a timber harvesting site. She joins us in the studio with the chain reaction the wet weather is having. Victoria.
Andrea, thanks in part to Tropical Storm Cindy, the ground is completely saturated, and area lumber companies are finding it difficult tending, logging, and transporting wood from the flatlands.
I've had loggers calling this morning already wanting to know, well, what am I thinking? When do we feel like we'll be able to go back to work?
Over the past 2 weeks, Macon has experienced torrential rainfall, and CA Barge Timberlands Vice President Steve Prestridge says that's having an impact on their business.
Going into the hot times of the year, they don't typically carry a lot of inventories at sawmills and plywood plants and things like that. So, especially when we get a tropical system coming through like we have that dumps a lot of rain, when your inventories are typically lower anyway, then that tends to make everybody a little more nervous.
Nobody more than Trevor Eves, who makes his living by the ton.
These last 2 weeks has been tough. You know, we don't make money if we don't get the wood to the mill, and they got to have the wood too, so we got to kind of work together, you know, and work diligently when the sun is shining.
Justin Moffitt says even though work is difficult with the rain pouring down, it's not necessarily impossible.
It's going to affect the loggers first and then the truckers. As long as we can move the loggers to the tracks that will work in wet times like we're having now, the truckers can follow suit and proceed hauling the material.
According to our chief meteorologist Keith Gibson, most of our area is under a flash flood watch until Friday. Prestridge says with that being the case, it could keep them out of the flatlands for a while.
At least 4 to 5 days before the soil moisture drops to the point to where you won't have a negative impact by going in there with your logging equipment. So it's a challenge that you have to be a little nimble when it comes to managing through weather changes.
Now, wood production depends on the season, ground, and of course the weather. And that was according to Barge Forest Product Company owner David Barge, is working with under normal circumstances. The company is able to produce 28.5 million board feet a year. Barge says when the unseasonable rain starts to pour in, however, they don't have to necessarily panic.
Log inventory of the size that we have can carry us a lot longer than most mills in Mississippi who require much larger production of logs every day. We do have enough inventory that we're not giving out of logs at this point.
Barge currently has 3 months worth of inventory work with until things dry up. Andrea?